Hi, everybody. Thanks for pulling up a chair. I'm Donna Meador. This is my channel about how I discovered mediumship and if, in fact, it can be learned. I always thought you had to be born a medium. I thought you just kind of grew up knowing that you were one. I had no idea, number one, the complexities of it and how many people were born mediums and didn't understand it and how many people like myself who never thought I could be one, never even attempted until one day, January 1st, 2025. I was listening to a podcast. Jeff, my husband, was getting a massage, and I had to be quiet, so I put on earphones and I was listening. I was actually looking for somebody else, and the woman I was seeking out, I found her on YouTube, and she was interviewing Suzanne Giesemann. Suzanne Giesemann, I had no idea who she was. And as I got to know more about her, I was more and more intrigued. And her interview brought forth this message that I couldn't believe it when she said, "You don't have to be born a medium to be one." What? I had never heard that before. This was like a new message. So from that moment on, I started to seek out all of her videos. And by the way, when Jeff came out of his massage, after an hour, because I listened to the entire interview, I turned to my husband and I said, "And by the way, babe, your wife is going to begin to listen and speak to dead people." So, he always says I'm never boring because he never knows what I'm going to come up with next. So I sought out Suzanne's videos. Suzanne Giesemann, she's on YouTube. You can go and listen to her. And then I proceeded to get all of her books. I mean, Mediumship, Messages of Hope, Droplets of God. Now, this one is super important because Droplets of God is basically an autobiography, and Suzanne Giesemann wrote it. And Mavis Patella was a renowned medium for 50 years. And she was a big believer in supporting the spirit world, her journey of how she stepped into mediumship. She was born a medium. She just denied it for a handful of years. It's freaked her out, okay? Which again is something I didn't even understand because I thought if you were born a medium, you just embraced the gift. No. So we are humans. We're going through the process. And this channel is all about me sharing with you very specific experiences I am having and have had through the journey of learning how to be a medium. Now, what's really sets this apart is being an evidential medium. Learning to be an evidential medium means bringing forth information that can be verified so that the person who wants to hear from their loved one isn't feeling like it's just arbitrary. So it's a very exciting journey, but that's how I discovered and am reading all of her books. And I just got her newest one, which I am reading now. But I wanted to share that with you in case you have ever thought about mediumship. I mean, I just thought when I would say to people growing up, I'm more of a spiritualist, I didn't identify that as an actual church. I identified that as a way of being. I was very spiritual. I liked being spiritual. I was brought up Catholic. I did go to Baptist church and walk forward and got saved and never felt the necessity to become to get rebaptized. I never felt that, so I did not. And as I became closer and closer to understanding, I stepped into this. Now, let me back up for one moment. What started me on the spiritual journey in 2016 is when my late husband passed away. And when he departed, I began to wonder if you can't kill energy, what happens with it? So you see how that was unfolding back in 2016, and I started to reach out to the likes of Abraham Hicks. I started to tap into listening to stories, how people connected with their loved ones beyond. This was that journey, and it wasn't until 2025 when I discovered, wow, I didn't know I could be a medium. And I wasn't sure I could, but I thought, let me take the course. Shift Network came out with the course. Jean Else, who was married to Mavis Patilla for 25 years, happened to be a teacher by trade, and she recorded all of Mavis's teachings. So we are getting to learn from Mavis herself directly. Now, she does pop in here and there. I have not experienced that, so I can't speak to it yet, but I want you to know people who have left Earth are still people, and they're just without their bodies. And learning how to communicate with them is an art unto itself. So thank you again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the upcoming videos as I roll out real time in real life my mediumship journey.